Oh, it has crept up on us like it does every year. It is maple syrup season. Boom! All right, come along. Today we're gonna get all of our equipment set up, hopefully, and we are for sure getting trees tapped. But we're gonna get all the other equipment set up and get equipment clean that we need to, all that good stuff. So come along. Don't know if you can see that, if you can see the sun coming through this beautiful maple syrup, but this is last year's maple syrup. And I cannot believe we haven't ate all this yet. I have a feeling when we go tap some trees, we're gonna see some sap, I think. I think we are, because I think we're a couple days late, only a couple days late. So the whole goal for today is to get this equipment cleaned up, which most of this is clean. This is a kit that I ordered off Amazon with the spiles and the tubing. I'll put a link to that below. But it also came with some other stuff like a filter and instructions and all that good stuff. But I do like this a lot better than the cheap setup that we've used in the years past. And this wasn't expensive. I think 10 tubes, 10 connectors was, I think, 30 bucks, I think. But I'll put an Amazon link down there for you guys to see. Went and picked up some brand new buckets because every year we save these buckets, but we always need 5-gallon buckets for something. So every year they get used for other stuff. One thing we're not doing this year that we have done in years past is usually we will drill a hole in the top of this bucket and put the tube in. Well, last year and towards the end of last year, we found that just putting the tube in like this is perfectly fine. And that saves the bucket and lid for us if we want it also. You also, when you go get a bucket, you want to make sure that it is a food grade bucket. You can Google that, find lots of stuff on it. But the number 2, HDPE, is food grade, at least to the best of my knowledge. The next thing we need to drill holes for these to put into the tree is a 5/16 drill bit. Most of those come in 2 different sizes. I can't remember what the other one is, but these do take 5/16. And that's that. But these are going to go into here like this. The instructions that come with the kit say to dunk this in hot water for about 10 seconds and then slip this on, and it'll be a lot easier. That is a tight fit, folks, right there. So we're going to finish getting this stuff cleaned up. We're going to take you outside. We're going to measure the trees and tell you how many taps we can put in per tree. So that's actually what we're going to go do first. We're going to go measure trees. We're going to get a plan. Then we're going to go tap and put the buckets out, and then we're going to start getting everything else set up. Because most of our stuff here is already clean. Let's go do it. All right, folks, I can tell you, I've already done one of these with just running hot tap water over it. It didn't work so good. Didn't work so good at all. But when you dunk it in here for about 10 seconds, what's it been, 3? What's it been, 4? 7, 10, 11?
10.
All right. After you do that, this just slips right on here, baby. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So we're going to do all of these. I think we have a grand total of 20, and about 16 here and 4 from last year that I do still have to clean up that are in the sink. So we're going to get this done. Super windy out here today. But what we're doing right now, we've already cleaned our equipment and everything. What we're doing now is we're just scouting out the trees and figuring out how many taps we're going to put into it. Most of my reading says, what's the first one, Jenny?
12 to 20 inches.
12 to 20 inches, 1 tap. That's diameter. That's going across here. That's diameter. 21 to 27, you can put 2 taps in safely. Anything over 27, 3 taps. And there's other charts I've read that even tell you 4 or 5 taps if it's that big. All right, and go figure, it's the Pratts. We have a piggy tape measure. All right, that's what we're using. Let's go do this. Our camera girl, Faith, is going to be recording the different tree sizes, all right? All right, Faith, you got all of our trees mapped out. Let's see, we got the house there. Awesome. Trees everywhere. Okay, now this center tree, Faith, have we ever tapped this center tree right here?
No.
We haven't. It's a pretty weak looking tree. We might throw 1 tap into it this year. Maybe, I don't know. All right, so Jenny, let's get the diameter of this tree, which the diameter is a straight line through the middle. So this is a lot of guesswork, but we actually have a pretty good idea of what's gonna happen. Jenny, will your arms even span that far?
Yes, this far.
Okay.
We may struggle later.
We will struggle later. What do you think you have there, babe?
Okay, I'm gonna go with 33
Okay.
inches.
Yes, 33 inches. So we're mapping it out right here. Face writing it down 33. So let's head down to that tree. I would not have guessed that. We've been under tapping our trees. Look at this burl on this thing.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Okay, so about how high up?
That's another thing. Yeah, we're shooting for 3 foot up.
About here.
Yeah, ish. It's probably a little high, but good enough. I mean, it really is good enough.
27.
Okay, we're gonna keep doing this. This is our big tree.
This one I might struggle with.
And surprisingly, this big tree, I think we put 4 taps on this thing last year.
We did.
Because it's almost 2 trees. And this one actually does not usually produce us all that much. What, Faith?
For a big tree, I put a big circle.
Awesome.
Okay.
Here, I'll get it lined up on this side. Okay, that's about it.
52.
So 200 taps.
So I could have done it, but then I couldn't have read it.
Okay, on to this one.
Alright. Go here. Ah! 23.
23.
Alright, and this last one.
This tree is our monster producer year after year. This one does very well for us.
Let's go with 24.
24. Okay, so that's measuring the trees. We do have 3 more down there that we'll probably go do real quick for fun as well, but I have a feeling this video is coming out pretty windy, so we'll just go measure them and we'll let you guys know the final results. So kind of another important thing to tell you guys about is what kind of maple trees do we have? To be honest, I'd love to hear your opinion because we don't know our tree identification all that well. I know they're maples. I know we get great syrup, but I think every year we figure it out where I think we have a couple reds and a couple silvers. I mean, a couple silvers and a couple, another one. I can't think of it. But anyways, we get syrup and we like it. Okay, Faith, great map. Thank you for the help.
Welcome.
So what are we looking at here?
So, we figured out how many taps the trees get, and so I went and wrote down next to the tree how many taps each tree gets, and then we figured out how many taps we need total.
Right, and we might not put, just because this one says it can handle 3 taps, we may not put 3 in. I don't know. We'll just see when we get out there. But so what's the total number of taps on our how many trees? Oh, pop quiz, huh?
9.
9 trees, how many taps?
23 taps total.
23 taps. I can tell you this tree here in the middle that I think I showed you in the video outside, we probably won't tap. We've never tapped it. It looks like it's hurting, so we might not tap it. So we're going to tap this tree. We mapped this one out for 2 taps. We're going to put 2 taps in. This is our producer right here. This is the tree that just flows and flows and flows every year. We're going to, for starters, when you go to drill this hole, you're going to drill it at a slightly upward angle. Not drastic, not all crazy, just slightly upward angle. Next, this is south. Preferably, in ideal situations, you want to tap the south side of the tree. And they say like you want to tap under a big branch or above a big root. Now this is southwest right here, and look what's right there. We got a big root kind of coming right there, and we got a big branch right there. I'm tapping right here. We've already got these laid out in our bucket. These are about 36 inches long, about 3 foot long, and that's what you want. You want somewhere in the 3 foot area, or you know, where you can make it work. But 36 inch area would be, you know, in this area here. Here's a tap from last year. Where'd it go?
Right there.
Right where?
Right there.
Right there. You do not want to be anywhere within 6 inches of that tap. So we are going to come down and over a little, and I think right about here. The root, the branch, in fact I can even come this way more. Yeah. And notice I just had a slightly, we want the sap to be able to flow out, just a slight upward angle. And I think I mentioned it earlier, but my tape right here is set for about, I think it's set for 2 1/4 inches. But you want your tap to be 2 to 2.5 inches deep. I also try to ensure that's cleaned out pretty good. And then nothing flowing. I thought something would be flowing out of here. Nothing's flowing out of this one. We'll put that in there. I will give it a couple little light taps with Andrew's hammer that he got for Christmas. All right, let's do the other side of this thing. I kind of personally think this tree might have been measured wrong, Jenny. I kind of think 3 could go in here. But we're going to stick with the measurements and we're only going to do 2. I would love to tap our main producer more than 2 times. I would love it. But another thing, when you're putting these taps in, you kind of want to get them spaced out. You don't want to put like 2 taps right next to each other. I think ideally you'd want one on one side of the tree and one on the other. I'm going to kind of close this up a little bit. On the east side here, there is a big root here and a big branch there. So I think I will come all the way over. Try to keep it a little bit southern, but try to do it right about here, see what happens. That might be an old tap right there years ago. Let's see. Oh, about slipped on the ice. A lot of times I will put in a little extra effort to get some of these shavings out, because a lot of times, a couple of years I had Q-tips out here cleaning these out, because you don't want your tubing to get plugged with wood chunks or sawdust. I didn't even need the hammer for that one. All right. Okay, so we use 2 taps to 1 bucket. If things are flowing hot and heavy, we might put 2 buckets out here, but 1 bucket, 2 taps. Usually, due to my work schedule and everything else, Jenny is out here multiple times during the day unloading buckets of sap. Right over here on the north side of the house in the shade where it stays nice and cool all day long is where we put the sap collection containers. And we'll get into all that a little bit later. One last thing we do with these empty buckets, once they get just a little bit in them, they're not flying away nowhere. But the wind is always whipping out here. So usually a small rock like that is plenty. So, we have bigger ones that you'll use as well. You can see it, you can't really see it dripping, but it's getting wet all over.
Yeah, you could see it when it first poured out. It was cool.
I got the evaporator set up. It needs to be cleaned out. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But I got it all set up, ready to go. These 3 barrels we use for some sap collection. Like I think I mentioned before, back on the outside, the back side of the house here on the north side, and also down by those taps that we put in way down there. So hopefully I can get all this cleaned up tomorrow. I also still need to get firewood. So I will be on a search for firewood tomorrow as well. We don't have enough woods on our property here to produce enough firewood. So I usually go find some deals, or I'm behind this year. I've gone and found some free trees before, but I'm really behind this year. So that's that. You guys will see the evaporator, the sap collection, and everything in progress on the next episode of this, because we are going to be updating you guys on our whole process all year long here, or all maple syrup season at least. Oh, I cannot wait. I love maple syrup season. Sitting out, letting this thing burn for hours and hours and hours, and sitting out here tending the fire, smelling the maple syrup, or smelling the sap turning to syrup. Oh, like I said, I gotta get all this cleaned up. I gotta get these pans cleaned up. Those collection tubs need a whole lot of cleaning up. A lot of work to do still. And we got taps flowing. And for dinner tonight is some of my homemade bacon, pork bellies we saved. I made the bacon, and this batch right here had maple syrup in the cure. Our home produced maple syrup in the cure for it. Oh my gosh, Jenny cooked that perfect. It looks amazing. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us for tapping trees today and trying to get everything set up. I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to get set up, but like I said, over the next couple days and weeks and everything, we're gonna bring our whole maple syrup operation to you guys, so you can see step by step everything we do. So keep an eye on that playlist that I'm gonna create. I don't know, 2019 maple syrup or something. Whatever. I'll have it out there somewhere. But in a couple weeks, we'll have a final product here. And from this side, it is so golden. It's beautiful. It's hard to tell from the side the light's coming from. But anyways, thanks for hanging out with us today, and we will be bringing you more. Thanks a lot.